The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse Ewing. This is the habit-based lifestyle where you can access your full potential right now. Finally break free from destructive habits. That dream life, if you want it, you can have it. This is where you transform your health, mind, business, and relationships, or do nothing and keep your life the way it is. But if you're ready for change, you're in the right place. This is where you're gonna learn how to live a habit-based lifestyle. You are tuning in to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Jesse Ewing. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle. Let's go.
All right, guys, I want to welcome you back to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. And today I want to talk specifically about, are you consistently winning? And what I did is this month, I really wanted to get back on track with my habits. I really wanted to track them. And as I walked through everything that I had done this month consistently, what I started to see was a pattern of, consistency, a pattern of discipline that I don't want to say I didn't have before, or at least the last few months, but I'd let a few things slip. And so as I kind of walked through it this month, I watched myself, where I tracked, how many workouts I did this month consistently, 31. I went into how much I prayed, and I went to 30. And then how many videos that I had done this month, and I did 30. I missed one day, and it was early on in the month. And then prayed with my wife 29 times, read the Bible 29 times. And then the other one was read a book 29 times, or listened to a book 29 times. And then also I had a few others, but as I was tracking them, I was thinking about this, man. People want to get in better shape. People want to make more money. But what happens is they say things like, listen, I want to make, $100,000 this year. I want to double what I made from last year, or I want to, do this in my weight loss. But what happens is they look at the goal from a year perspective. And one of the things that I really, I like to talk about and break down inside of the Habit-Based Lifestyle program is saying, listen, your goal is great. I love it. But what do you need to do, over the next 90 days, over the next 30 days, and then breaking that down into, okay, what do you need to get done today? The other thing is we had some key moves that we needed to make inside of our business for the first 30 days of the year. And I was very focused and relentless on making those changes. And what does that mean? That means that my main focus was to work on three things. And one was get our organic marketing back up to a level where we're producing 100 leads a month, get our Facebook ads to where they're producing leads. And then the third thing was to add another team member onto our staff that would help with setting. Now, what I witnessed and what I watched, specifically in business, is I watched two of my key employees, and these are guys that both work with me. They're very important. I watched them try to get me off track 2 different times this month, and I had to redirect them. Hey, is this going to help us get to our goal? Because I'm not really worried about it right now, unless it helps us get to our goals. So one of the things that you watch is when you have goals, when you have things that you're working towards, and you have kind of a day-to-day practice of doing that, I get to check in with that and say, listen, I understand where you're coming from. I understand, this is something you want to fix, but let me ask you this: does it help us get to our goal this month? And if the answer is no, I'm not interested in doing it. If the answer is yes, then we can talk about the changes that need to be made. But this is one of the key things that I see is I had 2 of my best employees try to get me off track. Now, I don't blame it on them, and I don't think it's their fault. I think that what they're doing is they're looking at ways that we can improve, but it's not a significant amount of improvement to actually shift anything that we were doing. And so the question is, like, for you, what happens when you focus on what you need to do each day is that you cut out everything else. And when you focus on what needs to be done each day, there's something that happens that you don't, that it's almost like you have this vision of just going forward and you don't see all the other things that people are throwing at you, not even your own people. And I believe that a lot of times this can happen even for people who are business owners, CEOs. They have key important people on their team, but because they're not, they don't understand what it's going to take for them to hit their goal, they will get distracted by listening to too many people. Even people that are key people, on your team, they may not necessarily think of it from a perspective of a business owner. And your job as a business owner is to make sure you win. Your job as a coach is to make sure that you are going to win, because when you win, everybody else wins, and that's the important piece. And so, as I even witnessed in my own team this month was, and we actually had a goal, believe it or not, about 4 days early. But I believe it was because I had a singular focus. Like, listen, if this doesn't help us get us closer to our goal, I'm not doing it. I don't care how good of an idea it is. We'll put it on to the back burner of next month, but we're not going to do it right now. Now, here's what I want you guys to think of. If your goal is to make, $1 million this year, or your goal is to double your revenue from the year before, you have to start thinking of, what do I need to do daily to hit that number? Not, what do I need to do, over the year? You have to start breaking it down. It's like, listen, if I could just make $5, $10, $20 every day more, eventually I'm going to get there. Because if I can do this consistently every day over the course of, say a year, my financial situation changes dramatically. If I can just hit another workout tomorrow and I can just focus on that every single day, my health changes dramatically over the course of the year. And the problem is most people are too focused on the year goal, and they skip out on the consistency of not realizing, like, I can't tell you how many people tell me they want to make more money. And I'm like, listen, go out and make it a habit of making 100, 200, whatever, $1,000 extra every day. And if you can figure out consistently what it takes to do that, now you look at over the course of a year, let's say you do $100, that's $30,000, dollars over the course of a year. Let's say you do 1,000, that's $365,000 over the course of a year. So learning what it takes to make that money every single day, and instead of focusing on, the $1 million at the end of the year, focus on what you need to do every single day to do that. And you can make that a habit. Your business and your life will dramatically change over the course of a year, because it's all about consistency. You do this inside of your body and health. You change how you eat every single day, and you start doing that consistently over the course of a year. Then you put in 3 years, 5 years, you're a completely different person as a businessman, business owner, and you're a completely different person inside of your health. And that is what it's all about. It's all about the consistency of this. We could really insert anything. Can you pray every single day? Can you have faith every single day? Because when you can do that, your life begins to change dramatically over the course of the year. And you look back and you're like, man, I am a completely different person than I was a year ago because of my consistency. And just so you guys know, like, I have to sometimes restructure what I'm doing. I have to shift up what I'm doing, because I see that even though I'm consistent, maybe I could dial in a couple systems as far as maybe marketing, as far as nutrition, or as far as like prayer, start a little bit tweaking these things so that I can get a better result. But the key thing is that I'm consistent at doing this. You're going to have people that are going to get you off track. Even some of your best people on your team, it's not their fault. That's where you come into play, and you have to begin to show up and say, listen, I think it's a great idea and I appreciate it, but we're just not going to make that change right now. We're going to focus on these things. So I want to make sure that in 2022, it's all about consistency and what I need to do every single day to hit the goals that I want in that 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever that is. And for you, you want to make sure you have a goal in mind so that you can ask yourself the question, hey, is this going to help me get closer to what I want or further away? Because if it's further away, then you probably don't want to do it right then and right there. So guys, if you're listening to this, think about where consistency or lack of consistency might be showing up in your life, and where can you start leveraging that going forward. And think about this. Are you consistently winning? Because this is one of the ways that you can begin to measure how you're doing in your bank account, your finances, your fitness, your faith, whatever that is. And you can begin to see if you're winning or not. So you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse